Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 tutorial. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you guys the best schemes and playbooks in Madden 22. So your playbooks highly, and I mean highly, affect how your offense and defense plays. It's just how it is. It doesn't. I mean, it probably makes sense. It doesn't matter how much of a god team you have. Perfect example: the Browns in real life. Their coaching isn't the worst, but if they had better coaching, they would be a playoff team every year. Just looking at that roster is ridiculous. But yeah, so this is the best playbooks. So each one has a different purpose and different goal. So if you are trying to develop certain players, there will be certain playbooks for that. If you are trying to develop your QB, the first playbook you want to do, QB or receivers, either one works. You will obviously want the best playbook in the game, and I that would probably definitely be, where is it? Kansas City Chiefs. And that seems a little bit obvious, but remember, this is a pass heavy offense. So if you have a really good running back and you want to utilize your running back, they will get little to no reps. They will not be used very much. Just like how Kansas City's offense works in real life, they don't use their running backs nearly as much as they go to draw plays. Well, not draw plays, I mean screens outside to the receivers, short slants, stuff like that, deep fade routes. This is a pass heavy offense. So if you want to extremely develop your QB, you will use this offense. And do note, if you want your best receiver to perform at an extremely high level, or if you want to develop a receiver, please put them in the slot. Slot receivers in the Kansas City playbooks get so many more receptions than your number one receiver. They get significantly more receptions, which will boost their stats. And whenever their stats gets boosted, their overall and their development do get boosted as well. So if you do want a boost in a player's receiving stats or a quarterback stats, you want to do the Kansas City playbook, and I will be showcasing this today as well. So use Kansas City playbook for that. Now, if you want a running playbook, you'll probably want to choose from three options. If you have a running quarterback, like a scrambler type QB, and a good running back or running back that you want to develop, you go to the Ravens playbook. Just that simple. Not even gonna I will show it to you just in case someone skipped through the video. But the Ravens playbook will be the best for that, just because they have so many. See how many plays they have out of the pistol and the shotgun, because they just run so many read options in different kind of pistol forms. With their running schemes, they have a lot more like that. So if you want running schemes with a running quarterback and you want your quarterback to get more rushing yards, running playbook with the Ravens is perfect. But if you solely have a very, very good running back and you want a lot, and I mean a lot, of yards running, you will go to, where is it? You will go to their division rivals, which will be the Cleveland Browns, who have Nick Chubb. As you can see, they run a lot of single back plays and shotgun plays as well, and especially I-form plays, a lot of running schemes, heavy running schemes with them. That is what you will want to go if you're just doing solely running back, not a rushing quarterback type scheme or anything. You will want to go with the Browns playbook. Now, if you want something that is way more balanced, you'll go right here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It will be more on the passing side than it will be on the rushing side, but it's probably the most balanced playbook I can find. But if you want more on the rushing side and slightly a little bit on the passing side, I would suggest you would go with, where are they? Come on, please show up sometime soon. Did I pass them? No, I didn't. Tennessee Titans. You will want to go with the Tennessee Titans. As you can see, they have a lot of I-form shotguns, single back, and they don't have a lot of Hail Marys, obviously. So they have more of a shotgun of anything, because they do have a lot of decent receivers. They got A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. They got Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, so they do have some passing options. This is just more of a heavier running option. If you want more running than you do want passing, but you still want a tiny bit of balance, then you will go with Tennessee. But if you want more passing than you do want running, but you still want to balance at running, you will go with the Buccaneers playbook. If you want a heavy running scheme with just an abusive back, Browns. If you have a rushing quarterback and a good running scheme, you will go with the Ravens playbook. Do note the Ravens playbook produces almost no offensive passing yards. Then if you want to go heavy passing yards and almost no touches for the running back, you will go with Kansas City. That is my summary on it. That is just how I've experienced a lot of things. Now, for the offensive scheme, I always go vertical zone run for most of my schemes because it fits a lot of things. Schemes aren't necessarily the necessity for being successful in simulation. They're more of scheme fits, and this is what I think works best for most fits in general. You have a lot of elusive backs, a lot of strong arms. You have a lot of deep threats with your receivers, and then your left tackle, you always want to be a pass protector, and tight ends, you are always most of the time vertical threats. You very rarely have blocking tight ends anymore, like Nick Boyle, but he's even a second string on the Ravens behind Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews is a vertical threat. So it's just very rare to find a blocking tight end or a possession tight end. Most of them are just vertical threats. So that is just a very common scheme that I like to use. Then if you want like maybe to forcefully go into I would say more of coverage. 4-3 cover is good, but 4-6 is for stopping the run more, and base 3-4, same with that. 3-4 is for pass rushing, and pass rushing and for your defenses is what you want. You want to go, if you want a successful defense, I would say 3-4s dominate Madden now more than 4-3s in terms of just getting to the passer and rushing the passer. So you're going to want to have a lot of outside linebackers that play edge, like TJ Watt, Khalil Mack, Chandler Jones. You don't want legitimate defensive ends, like such as JJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. I'm sure they can all play outside linebacker, but they're not nearly as versatile as someone like TJ Watt or Khalil Mack at outside linebacker, if you know what I mean by that. So those are the schemes that I do suggest. Something vertical zone run is my heavily suggested offensive scheme. Then defensive scheme, something 3-4 is what I suggest. Defensively, this is the big thing because usually whenever your offense is up, your defense is down. So I'm going to switch to the Kansas City offensive playbook right now because this is the one that I'm going to be using as an example today. And then defensively, what I would suggest as a playbook would be the Rams playbook. Obviously, I think that's pretty straightforward why a lot of people would want that. It's just, again, that's the heavy thing that I was just talking about with the base 3-4. You're going to want a lot of people that are outside linebackers but are also edge rushers, such as TJ Watt, Khalil Mack, Chandler Jones, people that I just listed. You're going to want those guys over anything. You're going to want them to play off the edge, and it will get you a lot of sacks. Now, if you do want more coverage-based things, Ravens. You will develop defensive backs like crazy. It has happened to me multiple times before, but they're more focused on stopping the run, and you will have a lot of deflections, though it doesn't really make a lot of sense because the Ravens do develop linebackers really well in real life. Your linebackers won't get involved nearly as much as the DBs. I think the DBs get a lot more tackles on this type of defense, but this is another 3-4 defense just like the Rams, so 3-4 is what dominates here. And if you want I would say, again, the most balanced playbook of all of them for defense would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, if I can find it. That would just be my personal opinion. Again, another 3-4 defense. 4-3, if you want something, I guess, all right, I would go Cincinnati if you were that, like, hung on getting a 4-3 defense over a 3-4. I would go Cincinnati, but that 4-3s just aren't nearly as good as 3-4s in this, and it just explains it so well. So yeah, I would say Cincinnati probably for that defense, but I'm not even gonna show it to you here because I just don't recommend a 4-3 defense in general. That's just my personal opinion on it. So today I'm going to be going with Kansas City's offense, and then I'm gonna try out the Rams defense. Go 3-4 scheme here, vertical zone run, and Kansas City's offense. So Elijah Moore is probably going to get most of the targets. Zach Wilson, only a 72 overall quarterback. I'm going to show you how he can become a top 10 quarterback within a matter of one season. Michael Carter is not going to get any reps at all. Sucks to be him. But I can guarantee you Elijah Moore, whoever is in the slot, it should be Elijah Moore. We could get it to Jamison Crowder, but I would say Elijah Moore is going to get, we're going to give it to Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder in the slot, and he's at receiver 1. I don't know, that might just boost his stats a little bit more if he's at receiver. No, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is going to be the guy. We're going to give Elijah Moore that, and then Rams defense, CJ Mosley should be playing inside linebacker, not outside linebacker. And my other guys should be okay. So I'm going to move him to, so first things first, don't expect this defense to be good. This is not a good defense, especially with these DBs that we have. Very, very bad. But Carl Lawson, 2 defensive tackles here. We don't need those guys. Very bad linebacking core. Blake Cashman's also a cover linebacker. So I'm going to try and get edge rushers in free agency really quickly because these are just not the guys. You don't want coverage linebackers playing on your edge right here. I know Carl Lawson and Jonathan Franklin Myers will probably be your edge guys, but just in general, you don't want those guys rushing off your edge. Reuben Foster, yikes, bro. All these guys. Cameron Wake, sure. We're going to sign Cameron Wake because he's the best that we possibly have. And that's unfortunate to say. And is there a good right outside linebacker? My goodness, dude. I need a good, okay, John Simon, sure. I don't think he's going to do anything. He'll probably start behind Blake Cashman, but that is just the way it rolls. So we're going to move into the playoffs just to see how good these stats can be inflated. I'm assuming our offense will do good. I don't think our defense will do good just because our pass rushers kind of suck, and the Rams defense is heavily focused on pass rushers. And if I switch to the Ravens playbook, which is heavily focused on, if the Ravens playbook is heavily focused on defensive backs, the best defensive back we have is Bryce Hall, and like that's it. We have Ashton Davis at free safety and Marcus May, which is pretty solid at strong safety, but it's just a terrible secondary to be working with. So I'm just going to keep it to the Rams playbook. I don't think they're going to do significantly well with how bad these linebackers are, but I think the offense will do really good. So I will see you in the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs at 9-8 for a 78 overall team, aka one of the lowest rated overall teams in Madden. I am insanely surprised that we made the playoffs behind the 9-8 Patriots. And Bills beat us in Week 17, but they missed the playoffs because of our schemes. We probably beat them earlier in the year too. So 9-8 for a 78 overall team, that is ridiculously good, by the way. Stats and awards, I'm sure Zach Wilson did great. Top 10 quarterbacks. 7th best offense. Defense, I don't think is going to be that good. 15th beast, that's very good for how terrible the defense is. 12th in points scored, and then points allowed is probably pretty high. 16th, wow. Look, Zach Wilson, almost 5,000 yards, 40 TDs, 8 interceptions. Look, he had 3rd in passing yards, 5th in passing touchdowns, and middle of the road for passer rating. That's not bad. That is not bad. 4th for MVP. 4th for MVP with this playbook. The Jets are not a good team. It's evident that they are not a good team. But these playbooks, I'm telling you, are what work. Now looking into Zach Wilson here, what do we have for the running back situation? Probably not. See, running backs is terrible because it's a passing scheme, but honestly, Michael Carter didn't do bad for 75 overall. Elijah Moore, look at him. 11th in receiving yards, 21st in receiving touchdowns. So that's not the worst, but it's also not the best. Michael Carter, 3.6 average, not good. But Elijah Moore, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Your slot got the most receptions on the team. Jamison Crowder is your receiver 1. Look, they got the same amount of receptions, but he had more yards and 3 more touchdowns than Jamison Crowder. And he's only 76 overall? Just a 76 overall. So think about what you could do with an 85 overall plus receiver at the slot position. He's very, very good. 9 TDs, 1,200 yards, 88 receptions. Great. Also, tight ends do seem to get a lot of reps in this. Corey Davis got a pretty good season. He had the most touchdowns on the team, and only 9 less receptions. Very close to getting the same amount of receptions as Elijah Moore. But Elijah Moore, again, the slot players dominate in the Kansas City Chiefs playbook. Defensively, C.J. Mosley, 118 tackles for a loss, 15 for Carl Lawson. Look at these sacks. Look at these sack numbers. I'm telling you, 3-4s dominate. Jonathan Franklin Myers. Who would ever think that this guy can get 14.5 sacks in a season? Quentin Williams, 13 sacks. Carl Lawson with 12 sacks. What a great, 3 double-digit sack players, and none of them are even a superstar development player. I think I think Quinnen Williams is an 85 overall, Jonathan Franklin Myers is a 79 overall, and Carl Lawson is an 83 overall. Like, you don't even have someone that's even a 90 here. Quinnen Williams is an 85 overall. Jonathan Franklin Myers, a 79 overall, got me 14.5 sacks. Interceptions, though. Bryce Hall had 6. That is insanely surprising. I did not expect that number. 3 for Marcus May and 3 for Ashton Davis here. Safeties is 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Very, very good pass rushing numbers. I'm surprised. Only 15th best defense. We're probably going to lose round 1 here. We're facing the 12-5 Ravens. I don't expect us to do really good. So let's just look at this real quick. What? This isn't forced or anything. Look at this. Playoff schedule. Wild card. No forced wins. We legitimately beat the Ravens. And then just to show you the realisticness in the team schedule and everything, no forced wins. It says home right here, but this is for the bye week. EA always makes it like that. No forced wins at all. Wow. It's just the playbooks, man. I'm telling you, we'll probably lose to the Chiefs here because, you know, it's the Chiefs and they always have the better playbook in general. I'm pretty sure we will lose to them. We do. 31-23, put up a good fight, but we're a 78 overall team. You really expect me to beat the Chiefs, which are like an 88 overall team? They're a 10 whole overall higher team than us in Madden, and you expect me to beat them? These playbooks are just ridiculous. You need to get them. They're the best playbooks I've ever seen in Madden. Just 3 double-digit sack players, and not just barely double-digit sacks. They put up numbers. Jonathan Franklin Myers. Let's see those stats from career stats. Look at that. He went from putting up 5 sacks within 3 total years of his entire career. 3 years of his entire career. And he goes to 14.5 just like that. Just wow. Like, how does someone do that? Quinnen Williams, let's see what you have here for stats and contracts. Last year, he went from having a total of 9 sacks in his career to having 13 just in a single season the next season. He had 0 tackles for a loss in the previous 2 seasons. Wow. And then let's look at Carl Lawson's. Carl Lawson, I believe he did pretty solid on the Bengals, so I wouldn't be surprised by these stats. He went from never ever having a double-digit sack season. His best season was his rookie year before this year, and now he has 12 sacks in a season. That's just ridiculous. He went from having 8 sacks his rookie year, then 1, then 5, then 5 to 12. Like, it's so unbelievable, these playbooks. So this is the official playbooks that I used for this vertical zone run, base 3-4, Kansas City's offense, Rams defense. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys all found this video useful. Remember before you guys click off this video, remember each and every single playbook that you use correlates to what players you have. So you really have to, you can't just be like, oh my God, I used the Kansas City playbook and expected Jake Fromm to put up top 10 numbers. No, you have to have somewhat of a decent quarterback. You can't just be like, oh my God, I threw in a 58 overall quarterback and he only gave me top 20 numbers. Like, you can't do that. You have to actually, develop a real quarterback and develop someone that you can work with. Same thing with the slot receiver. They have to be at least a 75 overall, in my opinion, for them to actually work out. And then defensively, you have to have something. You have to try to work with something. You can't just throw in garbage players and expect a Super Bowl team. Anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.